A 9 to 5 is hard enough without having to deal with these kind of people.
We, the American working population, hate the fact that 8 hours a day is wasted on chasing the dream of someone that isn't us. We may not hate our jobs, we hate jobs in general.
Is there anything worse than having to deal with somebody that constantly needs time off of work to deal with an injury that's just ridiculous that they have to deal with? Like, if you work in an office, how do you need shoulder surgery? Like, I understand if you were operating a jackhammer, or you're a plumber, or you're in construction, you do something even a little physical while your body's got to be in peak physical form. But if you're invoicing data into a computer, why do you need this kind of shoulder surgery? And on top of that, everybody that gets these kind of ridiculous surgeries that they probably don't need to begin with to do their job and take company time to do it, they're always going to the best doctor. Like, they know the greatest doctor in the world that are so much better than the guys you know, and they always have to tell you about him. Yeah, the guy doing my hand surgery worked on Rafe LaFrance. Remember when Drake tore his ACL and was back on stage in like 6 weeks? That guy's looking at my knee next week. I got Phil Simms, shoulder surgeon, looking at me next week. I know, I just turned my ankle, but I'm flying down to DC and I'm going to see the same doctor that put Joe Theismann's femur back together. I got a cortisone shot from Kurt Schilling's doctor. I'm going to the same doctor that worked on Lil Wayne's knee when he tore it up skateboarding. You see these crutches? The same guy that sold Ray Lewis his crutches sold me these crutches. Remember when Ron Artest ran in the crowd and started punching fans? Well, he broke a guy's face. I went to that guy's face doctor to look at my face. Oh, I'm definitely getting hair plugs. I'm going to see the same doctor that LeBron James is going to see next year. What is it with people that decide when they want to be ethnic? Like 90% of the time, they're just like everybody else. You know, talking about reality TV, gossiping, listening to top 40 radio, and then all of a sudden they need a day off, and it becomes some crazy religious holiday you may have heard about but don't really know, but you're pretty sure it's not a real holiday. Really? You're that religious? You're that in a family tradition? That's funny because last Thursday I saw you get carried out of a bar during happy hour by a bouncer. I hate people that have straight-laced 9 to 5 jobs then feel the need to go on these hedonistic vacations and then brag about it to everybody in the office. Like, why would you have to come back in your workplace and be like, yeah, I just got back from Amsterdam, that place is crazy. What? Just go on a regular vacation, man. And then if anybody ever brings up Amsterdam in front of your boss, handle it just like this. When the guy goes, hey, I'm going to Amsterdam, just be like, oh yeah, you do drugs? And he'll be like, no. And then be like, okay, you're pretty excited to sleep with prostitutes? And then he'll be like, no. Then why the hell are you going to Amsterdam? One of the worst kind of guys to work with is the guy that swears he knows black people and has to go out of his way in front of both white and black people to prove how well he knows black people. This guy might be a little bit on the younger side, probably in a fraternity in college, and just wants to go out of his way to prove that he's really down. My favorite example is he'll walk in a room full of like 4 white guys and 1 black guy and he'll be like, hello, how are you? Good to see you again. What's up, bro? During the course of the meeting, he'll constantly reference the 1 black guy in the room to show everybody else they share some kind of connection, which they probably don't. He'll be like, yeah, I'm not sure if Billy and Kevin know what I mean, but I know what my man Rob knows. My least favorite guy to work with is the guy that has to prove to you how cool he is with everybody else that's higher on the food chain than you and him are. Like maybe, you come in, you're like, oh, the manager just said we got Monday off. And he'll be like, well, I talked to the regional manager and they said we're working Monday. And then you come back in and you're like, well, I just talked to the vice president. He said Monday's a holiday. And then he'll come back in and be like, oh yeah, well, the president said we're all here on Monday. Why? How little level of celebrity does it take for you to be starstruck? On top of that, they usually have nicknames for these guys to prove to you just how cool they are. Like maybe your boss's name is Jonathan and everybody only calls him Jonathan or Mr. Smith, whatever his last name is. But this guy's got to go super extra hard and call him JD and bring up how much they hang out. Like, yeah, me and JD the other night at the Mets game, we're talking about how our company's doing. We got some really big ideas for 2012. Or, oh, me and JD went to the Mets game. There's some big changes coming in 2012. Come on, man. People you don't work with but work at other companies or other industries, I want to give you career advice. In this day and age, everything's very segmented and specialized. Therefore, there's almost no universal career advice beyond be reasonably cool with the person that writes your paycheck and show up to work most of the time. Beyond that, keep your advice to yourself.